Good morning, good afternoon,
Good
good day.
morning.
Welcome to the Down Low. I'm Joel Lowe, and always with me is
Hey, how you doing?
Mike. Mike, say hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, man. So Mike, what are we talking about today?
So we're going to talk about virtual kidnapping.
Huh?
Virtual
And
kidnapping.
this is a little different. This has been around for about 10 years,
Mhm,
10, 15 years,
mhm.
as long as social media has been around and things like that. But lately, it has been increasing more and more with a different take.
Yep.
And that different take, Joel, is
Well, I mean, so it's all about tricking you, right?
right.
It's making you believe that they have taken one of your loved ones, right? Depending on what the relationship is, it could grandchild, child, um, and making you give them money
Right.
so that they do not harm your loved one, right?
Right.
And we've seen like Good Morning America had a story about this a couple of days ago, right?
Mhm.
And that prompted me to say, hey, we should probably talk about this. And this actually happened to me like 12, 13 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So again, we're telling you that this has been around for a while, and they just get better at it, right? They
Yeah.
really hone in their skills, and the fact that we share so much information on social media freely,
Right.
it's easy to take that information and kind of blend it together and come up with a narrative that in your mind would fit. You also, too, when they give you information, you fill in gaps, right? Because you're panicking, you're trying to figure out how you can save your loved one, so you fill in gaps of information that they didn't give you. But when you come back and think about it, you'll say, "No, I said that. No, they
Right.
didn't say that." You know,
Right.
in your angst to try to get information and panicking, you give them more information that they then use. I knew somebody who would look at the back of your car, right?
Mhm.
And it had all the bumper stickers and my kids are honor roll here, and it had
Right.
pictures of them with a swim or Disney, and and they would then come up with a narrative from the back of the car, right?
Right.
Hey, how you doing? And we're so used to not trying to embarrass anybody or
Right.
ask questions like, "Hey, I don't know who you are." They're like, "Hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while." You're like, "Oh, hey, oh, I'm Jill's son. I mean,
Right.
dad. They both go to school together at whatever the name of the school is." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, yeah. I seen you in the carpool line. I haven't seen you in a while. How's things going?" "Good, all right." "Oh man, wait. We're talking about going to Disney, man." And I remember last time you told me y'all go there all the time. "Yeah, we love Disney, you know." And then now you have this conversation. You don't realize that they pulled all this information from the back of your car.
Ain't no way.
You know how it works, right? So let's say that a grandparent goes to visit their grandchild who just turned 16, 17,
Hmm.
right? And on Facebook, they put, "Hey, I had a great time in Connecticut visiting my lovely granddaughter, my first granddaughter, Jill. And it's always good to see you, Jill." And they put up pictures, right? You then go to Jill's social media account, and you know that Jill is a cheerleader, and she cheers at a high school, right? Because she has it up there. My first cheer game at whatever the name of high school, at Gray High School, right? So they take those two together, and they then spoof Jill's number, because when Jill had to register her social media account, she had to put a number, right?
Right.
So they take that number and they spoof it. So they call grandma.
Hello, what in the hell do you want now?
Grandma, while Jill's in school, right? Because the likelihood of Jill picking up while she's in school is slim to none, right? She's not supposed
Right.
to be on her phone while she's in school.
Right.
And they spoof the number, and when they call grandma, it comes up and it says granddaughter Jill. She
Right.
picks up and she's excited to talk to her granddaughter. "Hey, what's going on? I thought you were in school." And some guy gets, or some person gets on and says, "We have Jill, right? We got her before she got to school at Gray High School. And if you want to see her and you don't want nothing to happen to her, you're going to follow these directions. Do you understand me?" "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" So
Right.
already in their mind, you gave them the high school that she's at.
Right.
You called her
Right.
by her name, and you called on her phone, right?
Right. So
But most people,
clearly, you have Jill, you have her phone,
Mhm,
and you know information about her. And
right.
to most people, and an emotional, stressful situation, this sounds realistic.
Yep.
Right. It doesn't sound like they pulled everything off of social media. And the new trick nowadays is the spoofing of the telephone number.
That is the
that's the new trick. That adds a credibility to this lie and this narrative that they've created.
And we talked about that before when it came to banking, right? Where people would spoof bank numbers that are legit and then call you and then you give your money up. And it's the same technique, right? So now they're telling you what you're gonna do. Right? You're gonna go here, you're gonna give me this money, and then we're gonna release Jill. And she'll call you. But if you don't do it, you only have this amount of time. Go ahead.
Gift cards. Like we're talking now, it's gift cards.
Yep.
And Bitcoin or non-traceable funds.
I mean,
even people don't have easy access to Bitcoins, but you never know, right?
You never know. Zelle, it's not coming back, right? Cash App, all these different things. It's hard to get that money back because whatever account you send it to, they're going to empty it, right? I mean, immediately, right?
Move it on.
They're going to move on to the next one, right? So in that scenario, right, you could pick up the phone and pick up another phone and try to call, but again, she's in class, right? What do you do, right? How do you handle it? Because at this point, they have you on the hook. In my opinion, I think you hang up, right? But you may be too scared to hang up because you really do believe that this is them. You hang up and call back. They spoofed the number, but her number still works, right? So if you hung up and then called the number back and left a message, you could wait for her to call. But let's say you're too scared. Grandma, grandpa, you're too scared to hang up because this is your grandchild. You love her and you want to make sure she's safe, right? So I don't have it in me to hang up and chance that, right? Ask questions, right?
Yeah.
What are they wearing? Only Jill would know, right? What does Jill call me? Ask Jill what she calls me. Can I speak to Jill, right? And as you ask these questions, they're gonna no, we're not gonna put her on the phone. You either do it or something's gonna happen to her. Well, why can't you put her on the phone? I just ask her what I'll call her. Ask her what I got her for, her 10th birthday, right? Yeah. Right, for Christmas. Right? Ask her where we went and had lunch.
Christmas present?
Right. Something that only Jill would know. Or you said something about a secret passcode word thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of silly because we're children of the 80s. So Brandon Walsh, John Walsh's son, was kidnapped and everything else. And this was the start of kids on milk cartons and everything else. But one of the things that came out of that was develop a family trusted passphrase. Right. So if a stranger comes to you and says, and this was a scenario, if a stranger comes to you and says, your mom's hurt, I need to take you to the hospital, you go, great.
Wait! I must have the password.
Right. And, just develop something that only you would know. It never goes on social media. It's not a love or, it's not a term of endearment or anything like that. Again, my mom and my brother and I, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, came up with this passphrase. And to this day, if I called my brother up and said, what's the passphrase?
Yeah, but how do I know you have the password?
He would know it immediately. He wouldn't even hesitate. He would just call it out.
I have one for my daughter.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, if anybody ever comes pick you up, no matter who it is, unless it's like immediate, like, grandmother or something else. But if somebody says, hey, and it'll be a family friend, if they say, hey, your dad or your mom told me to come pick you up, you just say, okay, what is the passphrase? Right? What is the passcode?
I'm gonna start screaming.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they don't give it to you, you say, no, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be mad for you waiting. Right. And be like, no, I'm good. Right. And you go with an adult and just wait until either you get in contact with one of us and we tell you like, oh yeah, I forgot to give it to them, or have them call me like, no, you need to call and get the passcode, and then I'll go with you. Right. So again, putting that in place gives you another layer, confirming, confirming what's going on. So right now, figure out what that is, and again, not something that they can easily figure out. So I think that's good.
Yeah, can never put it on social media. Never. Right. It's like never make a password after all of your pet names. Right. All of the names of your pets. It's like, no, I'm going to figure that one out pretty quickly. It's name of your first pet and the year you were born.
Right. Right.
How did he know?
How did you know that? So sharp.
I'm talking to you. You in the back row.
Yes,
not you. Not you. You.
Who?
So, and if you're, and it, you know, the other thing is if you're with somebody else, maybe have them call as well. And you had a good point. If it was like your student child or something like that, call the school, right? Have them call the school and say, hey, look, I just need to know if so, can you put eyes on my child?
Yeah.
Right. Can you see them in the classroom?
And then can you go see them? Not, yeah, Jill came in this morning. No. I need you to put eyes on her. Need you call.
Right
hey,
now.
And they'll call down to the school, to the class. Hey, is Jill such and such in class? Yes, Jill's here. Can you see Jill? Yes. Okay, thank you. And then they can get back on the phone and say, no, Jill's in class. She's in math. Second period. Okay, thank you. And then you can hang up and you can say all the beautiful choice words you want to say to the person and then hang up.
Okay.
Back. Your person you love will pick up and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? But sometimes it doesn't happen. Like people are in meetings. I was in a meeting.
Right.
I was literally presenting and I kept getting phone calls. And I was like, yo, what's going on? And after about 3 phone calls, you know there's something of importance, right? 1 or 2, you can just chalk it up, especially when you don't get a voicemail or you do get a voicemail. But 3, you should step out real quick. Right. You need to step out and take that one. And for me,
I think anybody's going to be understanding at that point. Like, I just got 3 phone calls in a row, no voicemail. I probably need to answer this.
Right. And for me, that's what happened. I was in Atlanta working, giving a presentation, and somebody had called my grandmother, which I don't call her my grandmother. I have a nickname for her, and told her that I had got arrested, right? Which not too far-fetched back in those days. And
that boy is good. Good and terrible.
I've never been arrested, y'all. Just put that out there.
That is Joe Lowe. No.
And they needed bail money, right? And she started panicking, of course, right? Oh my God.
Home Depot gift cards.
And got in touch with my mother and my sister who were together, which they're calling my phone. I'm in a meeting, so I don't have my phone right beside me. I'm literally talking. It's sitting at my chair, right? Or it's in my pocket, but I got it on vibrate or I got it off. And I kept getting calls. I kept getting dings from voicemail. And I was like, yo, what in the world? So I step out and I pick up the phone and I got like text messages like, give me a call. Joel, where are you at? What are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
What? I'm fine. Totally fine. I don't know why it's coming out all loud and squeaky, because really, I'm fine.
So I called. I'm like, what do y'all want? What's going on? What happened? And they're like, are you in jail? No, not that I know of. I'm in a suit.
Not that I know of. We're all in jail.
We're all in jail. We're in the Matrix.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room.
Right. In the Matrix, right? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's not me. Right. And she hung up. But they were asking for money and it was believable to her. And the only thing that gave her pause was the fact that they said, you know, they said that I called her grandma. And she was like, no, he's never. Right. Yeah. And that threw her off. So again, thinking clearly, looking through the situation. But on the other hand, I know plenty of people who may have fell for that and then would have gave up money and you never get it back. Let me explain for you. In the history of ever, it's not coming back.
It's not coming
back. They have moved on.
That's why they ask for the money they do.
More money, more money, more money.
The way they do, right?
Yeah.
And there's no bank, there's no entity that's going to be like, we're going to give you your money back out of the grace of our heart. The good graces of our heart, here's all your money back, for even though you gave it to them.
Yeah. Willingly,
right? Yeah. And you give them the saddest story ever, and they're like, we appreciate that. So now next time, let's not do that, okay?
Right.
You know,
it's an expensive lesson that I hope nobody has to learn. So let's talk takeaways. I think the first one is prepare. Right. Yep. And this is really, this goes back to some of the first episodes we did. where it's look at your social media accounts, look at your loved one's social media accounts, see how they're set up, make sure they're not sharing any information publicly, just in their profile, right? Don't use a cell phone number that's tied to a banking or financial account, right? That's a big one. I don't have that. It's a Google number. Google numbers are free. Just go ahead, and it can tie right on into your personal cell and everything else. But this helps with SMS attacks and everything else. So just be careful with that. You know, there's certain things you should secure, and see what you're posting, see what your loved ones are posting, your kids, your family members. Just lock down your social media accounts, right? There's no reason to publicly say certain things, right?
Nope. And my thing is, as much as you want to share, right? Less is more. Right? Less is more. Hey, I had a great time visiting my grandchild, and you put the picture up, right? You don't have to go through a whole narrative of everything. Less is more, right? Think clearly, right? Don't get emotional. Really step back and not filling gaps, right? You see that on all the detective shows. Did you say that, or did they say that? You're like, no, I said that. Oh, okay. So they didn't know that, you know, Billy did this or Jill had this. You said that because you may say something like, no, Jill had a field trip. No, we got her before she went on the field trip. We knew she was going on a field trip. That's why we grabbed her, right? So now you believe that, and you're like, hey, well, they knew about the field trip. Well, did they? Or did you say something about the field trip, right? And you're like, oh, I said something about the field trip. Yes, they had no idea about the field trip. So again, don't be emotional. I know it's hard. Think clearly. Think real clearly. If they're asking you to do certain things, that you would just be like, why do I need to go get gift cards? Like, that's so weird. Like, okay, like there's certain things about it that if you really think about it clearly and take the emotions out, you'll be like, that just doesn't make. I don't know. I feel some kind of way about that. Like, I'm pretty sure that Joel and Mike told me not to do. Like, So, and what's the last one?
So, if you can, or someone's with you, reach out to them, see if you can have somebody communicate with the person, or at least have somebody validate and communicate that they're safe and haven't been kidnapped. So going back to the school, hey, honey, can you reach out to the school? Or, hey, do you mind calling the school and asking if they can put, eyes on my kid, or the hospital or rest home or the neighbor or somebody, hey, could you check and see on them, bang on the door kind of thing. Just you're starting to eliminate, questions that you may have and things and facts and things like that. Right. Even if they correctly guessed, oh, she was wearing a red shirt because she posted on Instagram the outfit she had on for the day. Or, okay, well, they got that. And you're like, did she post that on Instagram? What she ate for breakfast, if you're sitting across from them and eating breakfast with them, that's a good one as well. If you don't have a pre-established passphrase or something like that, what was their favorite Christmas present? Where did we go? What was their favorite vacation? Not what they got for last Christmas, because again, that might be on social media, right? But what was their favorite Christmas present? How old were they when they got their cell phone? How old, kind of thing, if they're in their teenage years or adult years or stuff like that. So, all right. Any closing thoughts, Joel?
Oh man, knowing is half the battle. And once you know, apply it. G.I. Joe.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe.
80s, baby. 80s.
80s.
What about you?
No card. I think the big one is just be prepared. And this is stuff we should be doing anyways, right? Teach your children and loved ones to use social media right and well and in privacy. Because once you open the doors to privacy, that bird can never be put back in the cage, right? It's a currency, and I used to tell Arnold, our friend Arnold, information is our currency and integrity is our currency. And once it's spent, you can't get any more. You can't make more. And privacy is another one of those currencies that you just, you have a limited amount of it. And once it's gone, it's gone. So, and it's a hard lesson to learn, and you learn from other people before you learn it, essentially. So just be careful. All right.
Hey,
well if you like this episode, please hit the like button. Yes. And if you're not a subscriber, welcome to the channel. Joel and I are, We don't make money doing this. We create these because we like this and we like sharing information like this.
Yeah.
You know, just hit the subscribe button. We do things like this all the time, and try to keep up with it on a weekly or at least every other week kind of basis when we can. Yep. Joel, what else?
Oh, that's it, man. We appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Only you can make it great. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.